Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got a 2023 Hyundai Elantra hybrid. Customer complained with the HEV warning light there. So I'm just scanning codes right now. Let's see what codes we have. Okay, so we have one code in the BMS. And we got P1B7600 high voltage relay fault. So let's usually with this type of codes, the high voltage system, if you can get a freeze frame, that's good, because at least there's some, they call it info code, and you can reference that codes to the shop manual and see what to look for, right? So let's check this freeze frame, and if you can save it, that's much better. Okay, so we got BMS fault, no. Warning, yes. Weld, yes. Overcharging, no. Service lamp, yes. Battery DC current, 0. DC voltage, 235 volts. Isolation resistance is 1000 kilo ohms. I think that's too low for this one. I don't know, I'm not sure, but well, I know it should be 3000 kilo ohms. But let's just go further here. Okay, here's our info code. You see that information code 1 and 2 until 4. So you need this guys here. So an info code 1, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 is all 0. Okay, then we can check our the way it says on our code relay. That's pretty straightforward, right? We check our relay info operation, and we see from there. So let's save that guy. Let's go back here. Let's go we can go to DTC. We got smart DTC guide, but let's go DTC information. So it's just checking faulty main relay, pre-charge, harness, BMS ECU, faulty MCU. Okay, let's flow chart. Can we access that? No. How about smart DTC? Same thing here. Okay, let's go wiring component. So this one, he's just asking me to check power ground chassis, okay. So here's some data here, that current data. BMS weld flag, no. Relay status, yes. And info code here. So as you can see, confirm first frame data and info code. Main plus minus relay fuse at the same time. If info code is 1, info code 2, 0. If it's main relay fuse minus, it's info code 1, 0, info code 2 is 1. And then the diagnostic flow chart, wiring inspection, harness. So this one, I think they just want you to check. Let's open our ATM. So we go to the relay. It's all resistance check. So now he wants you to, this is a relay, pre-charge, main relay positive, main relay negative. So on this, on the flowchart, he just wants you to check your, let's say the pre-charge relay from this point onto your ground, because that's connected, right? There's a coil there, so you should have specific resistance. The same thing on the positive main relay from pin 3 and pin 2, and the negative pin 1 to pin 2. So there should be resistance there going in there. And the next is when we try to actuate it or command the relay to turn it on, there should be resistance value from this guy here, PRA IP, to this one, because we're closing the switch. So it's just checking if the switch is working normally, but it's all resistance value, right? So I'm just curious. I'm just gonna go back here. So freeze frame again. Okay, so relay status is no, so our relay didn't really work. Okay, can I access my service information here? I just want to see something. DTC battery. Is there an isolation code here? I just want to see what's the isolation normal value on this hybrid. The full EV is 3000, more than, it should be 3000 kilo ohms, but I see some hybrid less than 3000, so I don't know if hybrid has different isolation spec, but it should not. Let's go shop manual. I think they will show it here when shutting off. No current data. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna look for it. Let's see. Okay, so I can't find any information regarding the isolation spec for the hybrid, so I'm just gonna look for another hybrid here if it's the same, right? Just to make sure. Anyway, here's our specification for relay, because he's just asking us for the coil resistance, right? So for the main relay, it's at 25 to 30 ohms. The pre-charge at 40, and then there's specific pre-charge resistor is at 40 ohms, right? So now I'm gonna remove because our main battery or the hybrid battery is under here, so I'm gonna remove this guy and let's do our testing. Okay, so I remove our rear seat cushion, right? Remove the cage for the battery, it's out there. There's some broken glass. I don't know what happened in this vehicle. So first, before we do some testing, I'm gonna try to actuate those relay and see if we can hear something. Okay, so we're gonna go to actuation test. You can see here there's a B plus fuse, BMS fuse, solar fuse. Let's see. We got output. inverter plus, inverter minus, battery minus, battery plus. And this is our power relay assembly. That's our battery there, just a small part there. So let's see. This is engine. Why did I go engine? BMS. Okay, so I'll go to actuation test here. I got main relay, pre-charge relay, main relay minus, what else? Main relay plus. Okay, so let's grab our relay data here. Main relay status on. Says no there. GCU main relay. I'm just clicking all the relay here that's involving the battery. I've got some relay here, but it's just a 12-volt relay. I really don't need that. Volt relay off, on. Okay, let's just click that, because I don't know, doesn't say here relay for the main recharge. So I'm gonna click first our main relay minus, ignition on, right? Okay, we heard that click. The minus, the pre-charge relay on, main relay, pre-charge relay. So let's go main relay plus. Okay, the plus didn't click at all. And then we go the pre-charge. So I think what happened here is, since we're in ignition on, the pre-charge and main relay, they're both at the same time. So let me see here. Yeah, so it says here main relay minus, pre-charge relay simultaneously on. So there's no specific actuation test for just a pre-charge relay. So I'm gonna do a main relay minus and pre-charge relay. Okay, and then the main relay plus and pre-charge. Stop. But main relay plus, nothing. So I think the one that clicks earlier. Okay, pre-charge relay. Let's see. No, pre-charge relay on, nothing. Pre-charge relay minus. There you go. Main relay minus. Stop. Pre-charge relay and on, and main relay. Okay. Pre-charge relay, nothing. Well, how come earlier when I press main relay plus doesn't turn on? Yeah, doesn't do that. But this guy, pre-charge relay on and main relay turns on. Huh. Okay, so next is what we're gonna do. As per the flow chart, let's just follow that. But basically we're just checking the relay operation. We heard that the main relay plus didn't click at all, right? We're gonna check our ground controls here, or the command. Well, in this case, the ground is always on the ground, as just sending power, right? So let's go back here. I'm gonna go to our ETM. or the wiring diagram, schematic, battery control system, page number 2. So in here, as you can see there, the ground, that's ground all the time, and the computer, the BMS, is just sending power to activate the coil, right? Main relay minus, main relay plus. So our concern pins is going to be 2, 4, 3 and 1, right? So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna look for the connector B01F. So B01F is location B01F. That's gonna be the middle one. So the middle connector here, so you'll get 1 here, 2, 3. So our concern is this guy here at the middle one. Let's look for that pins. It says here 2, 4, 3 and 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's gonna be easy. So the 1 is pink. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all on this side here. So we're gonna test that. Test the signal coming out and see if we're getting that signal to turn on this guy. So okay, first I got my 1-channel scope here. So pin 2 for that connector is the ground side. So what I'm gonna do, I didn't do the shut-off procedure on this guy here. Be careful, the connection is so small here, so just be careful on how to poke this. So pin 2 is what? PRH is okay. So you know what? PRAHS here. So as you can see here, you can see our wiring diagram. I was thinking pin 2, but that's on the BMS side. This is the BMS here, right? I was thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. That's on this guy here. So I think this is all, like, I'm scared to move something like that because it's already preformed, the harness. I'm gonna go on this side here. So we need to connect ground. So I'm gonna connect ground here. I don't have to worry about that because it's not really, that's a 12-volt system, right? And then let's do 1 is minus, okay? So keep in mind 1 minus 3 plus pre-charge relay, because I'm gonna do an actuation test again. Okay, so I'm gonna do the minus first because that's pin number 1. I'm just back probing these guys here. Okay, here's our scope. I'm gonna turn it on. Minus, as you can see there, that's on. It's holding at 12.6 volts. Stop. That's good. Now I'm gonna go to plus. It's pin number 3. Okay, pin number 3, main relay plus, turn it on, nothing, okay, let's go to the pre-charge. That's now pin number 4. There you go. There's our pre-charge relay. Stop. I'm gonna move this guy here because as you can see on our pre-charge actuation test, it's a simultaneous test, right? It tests the pre-charge and the depends minus or the plus relay main. So I'm gonna click the same, the pre-charge relay and the main relay plus. Okay, shuts off right away. The plus. Let's do that again. It's shut off. Compared to our minus, because I think there's something wrong with the plus, I think. Stop. Minus. There you go. It turns on. There you go. Again. Recharge relay. Stop. That's a recharge relay. But the main relay plus doesn't do at all. There you go. Turns on. But no click. What happened? I'm on the circuit of the pre-charge, right? I'm gonna go to the circuit of the main relay plus. How come it? Nothing. Well, if I'm gonna go there, main relay. I'll try main relay minus. Charge relay. How come I'm not getting anything? Recharge. So if I'm gonna connect my pre-charge circuit here in the scope and activate main relay minus and pre-charge relay, nothing shows up in the scope. But if I'm activating the main relay minus on the pre-charge circuit, am I connected? Oh, that's minus. Pre-charge relay plus. We're gonna activate pre-charge relay plus. On a pre-charge relay and main plus, I got signal on the pre-charge circuit. My main relay, just the main relay plus. There you go. Main relay plus. We got signal on the pre-charge circuit. Stop. Pre-charge relay and main relay minus. I'm expecting to have a signal there. It clicks, but I think the main relay clicks. It's the main relay that clicks. Yeah. Okay, so that's weird. Stop. Okay, so here's the circuit again, right? we're checking our commands from the BMS ECU. We know when we click main relay minus, we get a command there. When we click our main relay plus, there's no command. But if I'm gonna put my scope on this recharge relay and command main relay plus, I have a signal. But if I'm gonna command pre-charge, well, the pre-charge relay there's no specific test there. It's just that well, there's a pre-charge relay on, but didn't do anything. So that's coming from here. Now I'm gonna go on this side here. So let's go to the ECU itself. So 13, 11, 12, 13, 32 ground. So I'm gonna leave my ground on this side because I think that's easier. Pin number 2, because I don't think we have an issue with the ground. And then let's go look for 11, 12, and 13. So 11 plus, 12 pre-charge, 13 is minus. So 11 plus 12 pre-charge and 13 is minus. Where is this located? So 14 is 14 yellow. 14 yellow. So at the bottom, okay, 14 yellow. So I'm gonna be checking this side. 14 right across. Okay, pink. Okay, that's good. So what's that again? 11 orange, that's plus, pre-charge, and minus. Okay, let's go back here. Actuation test. So first pin 11, that's our plus. I'm just gonna back probe there. Okay, so I'm gonna look for main relay plus and then start. Nothing there. Start. Nothing there. Then the pre-charge yellow. Pre-charge yellow. So as I said, pre-charge is simultaneous. I think maybe this one. Let's try pre-charge relay on. There's specific here. Let's see. That's doing nothing. Pre-charge relay and plus, and I can hear a click, right? And it's showing 12 volts. Question there is that the clicking is the main relay plus or the pre-charge? But if I click pre-charge relay, no signal at all here. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the minus, pink wire, BMS side, main relay, specific main relay first, minus. We got 12 volts there. And then main relay and pre-charge. We got the click there, and we got signal. I'm gonna just click the pre-charge relay. I think our pre-charge relay is not doing anything. Nothing. Pre-charge relay doesn't do anything at all. No 12 volts there. Okay. So the way I see it, in this testing right now, we're checking voltages, not the resistance test, is that our BMS is not able to send pre-charge relay signal going to our module. It could be too that it's not sending signal because we got a fault for our main relay plus, because when I click main relay, it doesn't click at all, the plus, right? Doesn't click and doesn't register in our signal on the scope sending 12 plus because we have a fault, unless he doesn't want to send that signal to activate the relay because we have a fault. That's the other one. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna test our resistance as per that manual. So he's saying on our manual just to check the ground onto the control if we have that connection there. If there's no broken wire at all, right? But I don't think there's a broken wire, but let's just do that because he wants to see from here, because this is like a loop. We have a coil on each relay, unless our coil there is gone. But anyway, 2 4 2 3 2 1, so that's in this side, but we're going straight to the BMS 32, right? 12, 11 and 13, right? So I'm gonna grab my multimeter here. Okay, here's my multimeter. We're gonna do a resistance test. Okay, I guess you can see that meter there. Check your meter first. Connect both leads together. Wait, that's reading. That's too high. What? There's something wrong with my leads. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Get our leads there. Why is it reading like that? That's 0, so I think it's my leads. Okay, so let me zero this first. F1. Where's F1? Okay, that's 0. Now we're gonna go to 32. 32 is this guy here, and let's do the 12. What do we have there? 12. Nothing. How about 11? What? This 12. Nothing. Am I connected correctly? Let me go to this ground here. Okay, and then the minus. What's going on? Okay, minus. That's 60 ohms, right? From 32. I'm just gonna use this guy here, so that we're all straight from the BMS. Okay, so from the BMS ground going there, we get that connection on the coil. That's 13, right? And then on 12, pin 12, that's yellow. That's our pre-charge. We got 79. And then our pink wire, that's the plus. We got 64. Why my multimeter is reading like that? I don't trust that. And why is that open now? That's, oh well, that's the plus. That's the plus. It's so sensitive. Okay, that's the main relay plus. There's a pre-charge. Now it's all reading mega ohms. Let me try another lead. Okay, so I just changed my back probe pins. I'm just gonna lightly touch these guys here because I think let me see if you guys can see that reading there. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the blue one, ground, check pin 11, pin 11, nothing. That's 23 ohms, the yellow. 24 ohms. Orange, 30k. But they said he needs to be unplugged, right? So let me unplug this guy here. Let's check the pins here. Nothing there. So blue, pink, 24, 24, 231 kilo ohms. That's the orange. So orange is the main plus, as you can see there, main plus coil going here from ground. There should be a resistance, as you can see there, 12 and 13. There was a resistance 64. This is 64, 20 ohms. This shows 20 ohms. Let's try again. $25, so pre-charge and minus relay, 25 ohms. This guy is 1.8 mega ohms. So that's open, clearly that's open. So there's no point of going further, and we saw that the signal going in. So this one is a main relay positive, but that's the whole PRA assembly. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, there's nothing else to it. You just unplug that and go in. Yeah, because it's just a loop going in. So at least I don't think it's a harness issue, right? I don't think so. Let me just do that quick. So main relay plus, that's the orange, right? I'm gonna go to this side here. That's our next connection before it goes into the relay itself. Pin number 3. Okay, so connection from here going here, and as you can see on our wiring diagram, from here going here, there's good connection. But from going all the way to the ground side here, we got 1.8 mega ohms. Let's just double check. Let me go one more time here. Shop manual. what was it? Hybrid control specification, main relay coil, recharge relay. It says here resistance 40 ohms to 110, depends on the, what do you call that, the temperature. And the main relay is 25 to 30 ohms. For the pre-charge relay, we got 25 ohms, the same thing as the main relay minus. Main relay plus is 1.8 mega ohms. So yeah, but why is it, let's say 40 ohms? Don't tell me we have also an issue with our pre-charge relay. Pre-charge relay is the yellow. 24. The spec says 40, but anyway, clearly we have an issue on our main relay plus. There's a resistance there. Now it's even, I guess it's too big enough already that it can't even show the resistance value. Let me just remove this guy here. Let's connect directly here. Nothing. It's a pre-charge, and that's our main relay minus. So there's clearly an open there. So I'm gonna put everything back, tell them it needs a main relay, oh no, not main relay, PRA assembly. Let me just double check here. So be careful with your testing here, okay? We didn't do anything on the high voltage, but since you're doing a resistance test also, if you want to be comfortable, you can always remove the main connection on this one, right? But I'm just touching all this 12-volt system, and I don't think that can hurt me unless you're gonna start removing the connection on these guys here, right? On the main big bad cables, the orange wire, especially your actuating stuff. Be careful with that, right? And especially you're working alone on a vehicle, you'll never know, right? So anyway, this guy needs a new PRA assembly. I don't know if we can order that separately. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that diagnosis. P1B76 high voltage relay fault. So you can do the testing, and also at least, because what happened is, let's say what if we did the testing here, right? Resistance test. Yeah, we found that the the coil, one of the coil is open, but do we know the BMS itself is capable of sending that 12 volts, right? Because the BMS is sending 12 volts and it has permanent ground. So in this case, I guess he's not sending it because he sees that there's no it's an open circuit on that coil, so he doesn't want to turn it on, maybe. Or there's a chance too that maybe the BMS is also bad. Okay, here's our BMS or battery assembly, and we can order the PRA stuff. There you go, PRA. It's almost 700. That's the warranty. And anyway, that's the whole assembly. So yeah, let's get back on this repair once I get the new part, and we'll do the repair.